Hi, everyone. My name is Haley, and I work for the Educational Opportunity Center. Today, I'm going to talk to you about understanding college costs. So, what are your college costs? When a lot of people think about what it's going to cost them to go to college, they think about these direct costs. So, that's going to be your tuition, your fees, and your room and board if you're at a residential campus. Those are the things that the college is actually going to bill you for. But some of your other expenses are going to be things like books, transportation, clothes, even entertainment possibly. So just keep in mind when you're looking at how much your college is going to cost, you may see a sticker price of $9,000 per semester for your tuition, fees, and room and board. And even though maybe you have um, financial aid, scholarships, grants, that kind of thing to cover those costs, there are still other expenses that you're going to have to look at. So how are you going to find your college costs? So look at the college's website. Know what to look for and make sure you find all of the information you need. So don't get just your per credit hour tuition cost and think you know everything you need to know. You also, of course, want to know what your fees are going to be and what your room and board is going to cost. Um, so know the lingo. Your tuition is the cost associated with your classes. It's typically charged by the credit hour. Your fees are charges used to pay for additional services like student recreation centers, student activities, and those are typically small charges that are also per credit hour that are added in with your tuition. And then, of course, if you are living on campus, you've got your room and board. So that's going to be the cost of living in a residence hall and the cost of having a meal plan. So when you start looking for your tuition and fee and room and board, all of your cost information, it's going to depend what school you're going to on how easy it is to find. So with this first example school, I just went to their tuition and fees page. You can see here it gave how many hours you're looking at taking, your tuition based on whether you are in state or out of state, and your fees. So you've got your tuition and fees all right there together. Um, it actually breaks down what the fees are per credit hour. So you can look at that as well. And then even on the same page, it has your residence hall information and your meal plan information. So with this school, you just went to the tuition and fees page, pulled it all right up, pretty easy to find. Unfortunately, that's not how it is at all of them. So with this one, when you start looking at their tuition and fees, the first page you're probably going to get to gives you an idea of what your tuition and fees is going to be, and they actually show you kind of what your cost of attendance is going to be because they do figure in your books, room and board, personal cost, transportation costs, that kind of thing. But a lot of assumptions are being made in this tuition figure. They are assuming that you're going to take 30 hours. Um, of course, it's just got one tuition and fee amount there. So that could be different for you based on your residency, whether you are in state, out of state, um, and sometimes even, the courses you're taking. Some of them will have higher fees than others. Um, so this one gives you a good bit of information, but it's very general information. You have to actually do a little more digging with this school to then find what is your tuition rate per credit hour, what are your fees going to be, that kind of thing. Then you have to go to a completely different web page to actually find your residence hall and meal plan information. So for this school, all the information is still available. It's out there for you to see, but it does take a little more digging. So that's where it becomes important to make sure you know what all the information you're going to need is, and don't stop searching until you find all of it because it is out there. And then with this third school, you can see it's all on the same page again, kind of like with that first one. And it is showing you what your in-state per credit hour is, what your out-of-state credit hour is. And then it does show you some of the different fees. And I really wanted to show you this one because with it, you can see how down here at the bottom a different class might have different fees associated with it. So like for a biology lab course, you're going to have all of your regular tuition and fees, plus there's an extra $25 per course with that one. So just be aware of that as well when you're thinking about your tuition and fees. There may be some variance, even if, you're taking 15 hours and your friend is taking 15 hours, but if you're taking different classes, there still could still be a difference there. So what a lot of schools have is a tuition estimate calculator. It's pretty handy. So you can actually put in how many classes you're planning to take, if you're planning to live on campus, lots of different information actually about you, and then it'll give you an idea of what your tuition and fees are going to be. And then you can see it gives you your total estimated cost up there at the top, which is pretty helpful. But I give you this example just to say don't get it confused with your net price calculator that schools have. Typically, you are going to find your net price calculator through like a financial aid page. And you can see it does have an estimated total cost of attendance. That is a very general estimated total cost. So I went through and did this example. It didn't ask me how many hours I was going to take, what I was going to major in, that kind of stuff. The purpose of this one is to take what their already figured up cost of attendance is minus the aid that they are going to estimate that they think you're going to get, and then give you what they think your net price is going to be. So this one is looking more at, here's what we think it'll cost you, here's what we think you'll get in aid, here's an idea of what you'll have left to pay, without actually taking into consideration how many hours you're taking or anything like that. So just don't get your tuition estimate calculator and your net price calculator confused. Here's just another example of one of those net price calculators. So you can kind of see this one did ask a few more questions, I believe, and you can see it actually added in some scholarships along with the federal aid. Whereas I believe this one, I think, is just showing federal aid there. So there are lots of tools like that out there that you can use to get an idea of what your cost is going to be. But just like I said, be aware what information you're putting in. If it doesn't ask you how many hours you're taking, what you're majoring in, what kind of classes you plan to take, it's not going to have a super accurate idea of what your actual cost is going to be. It may be more focused on what's your ACT score, how much money does your family make, that kind of stuff. So it's showing you more about your aid that you're going to get. So just keep that in mind when you're using these different calculators and tools. Now, if you want help with any of this, you can contact our Educational Opportunity Center office. We will help you with your admissions applications, your financial aid applications, your scholarship search. Our contact info is there on the screen for you. Mine is there at the bottom, so you can call me at 391-3129 or email me at haley.markle@northark.edu. All right, and that is all I have for today.